Alright, what is going on, guys? First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who left their comments in the last video, and thank you to everyone who interacted with me as well. I really appreciate it, guys. And please leave your comments below in this video as well to let me know your thoughts, and please do so because I will be replying to each and every one of you. I will reply to all your comments, so please comment below and interact with me. Okay, so here it goes. In round 1, I got one prediction wrong, which was the Clippers again for the second year in a row. Last year in the playoffs, for the first round, Blake Griffin got injured, and then Chris Paul got injured and was out for the rest of the series as well. And then they ended up losing to the Blazers. Now this year in the playoffs, Blake Griffin gets injured again and was out for the entire playoffs, and they end up losing again to the Utah Jazz this time. Now, I think that this series would have been a lot different if Blake Griffin was healthy and played the entire series. But, you know, that's that. I was wrong, and the Jazz won the series. So, moving on to the second round. Alright, so, speaking of the Utah Jazz, I'm going to start with the Utah Jazz versus the Golden State Warriors for round 2 of the NBA playoffs. So, I'm going to try to keep this one short because I don't think that there's too much to say in this series. Warriors, in my opinion, are going to dominate this series because there are just way too many superstars on that team, and the Utah Jazz do not have the defense or offensive firepower to keep up with the Warriors. And I think that the Clippers, actually, if they were completely healthy, they would have been a decent matchup against the Warriors, but obviously that's out of the picture. However, though, I do honestly hope that the Utah Jazz do win this series because they're such an underdog in this series. And the Jazz have not advanced in the playoffs in a really long time. So that would be great for them. But I'm just going to be realistic and say that the Warriors are going to take this one for sure. Alright, so moving on. We have the Houston Rockets versus the San Antonio Spurs. Now this is going to be a great series, no doubt. Both teams are based in Texas, with the Spurs having home court advantage. San Antonio Spurs are a much more well-balanced and well-rounded team, in my opinion, and also they're much better on defense as well. But the Houston Rockets are a much better offensive team and is arguably the best three-point shooting team in the entire NBA right now. Tony Parker has been playing extremely well in the playoffs, as we would all expect from a veteran championship point guard like himself. Kawhi Leonard has been absolutely beasting it. As I mentioned in the previous video, in the last round, nobody on the Grizzlies would be able to stop Kawhi Leonard. That's what I said, and sure enough, he averaged 31 points per game that series, shooting 55% from the field, 48% from the three-point line, and 96% from the free throw line. He was basically unstoppable because the Grizzlies, they did not have a defender to match up with him. However, the Houston Rockets, though, they do have Trevor Ariza, who is known to be, a pretty decent defender. He's a good defender, and he's a veteran in the game, so that should make a difference. I think that Kawhi Leonard is going to be the one defending James Harden, most likely, and Kawhi is one of the best defenders in the entire game, so we'll see if he's capable of slowing down James Harden. Let's see. Oh, a particular player I do want to talk about is LaMarcus Aldridge on the Spurs, who hasn't been playing too well in the playoffs as of late, but I do think that he is going to be the difference maker in this series. If LaMarcus Aldridge plays like an all-star, as he should, being the great player that he is, I don't think that the Rockets will have any player who could defend him, especially in the post. I believe that the Spurs are too good of a defensive team to let the Rockets get hot from the three-point line for the entire series. And the Spurs are also a better team than the Rockets overall, in my opinion. I think that in order for the Rockets to win the series, James Harden would have to put up some insane numbers, and he would also have to be really efficient as well, which would be extremely difficult against a good defensive team like the Spurs and a great defensive player like Kawhi Leonard, who will likely be guarding James Harden. So in this series, I'm going to have to say that I think that the Spurs have the edge, and I think it's going to be a good series, but I'm going to have to give it to the Spurs. Alright, so moving on to the Eastern Conference. Okay, so the Boston Celtics versus the Washington Wizards. Now, I made a comment in my round 1 video yesterday because I wanted to make the prediction before the game started. But I couldn't make the video because technically round 1 wasn't over yet. So I made this prediction for the Celtics and the Wizards game and for the series before the game started. And I picked I picked the Wizards over the Celtics. And I know that the Celtics won today, but I'm still going to stick with it and go with the Wizards, guys. I still believe that the Wizards are going to take this series over the Celtics, even though they are 4th seed and the Celtics are 1st seed in the Eastern Conference. I actually think that the Celtics have a better team than the Wizards overall, but I believe that John Wall and Bradley Beal are capable of winning this series for the Wizards. I don't think that the Celtics can stop these two guards, even though John Wall and Bradley Beal technically had a pretty bad game in the first game. They were still putting up some pretty crazy numbers, and I think that they're just going to get better and more efficient as the series progresses. Celtics also knocked down a ridiculous amount of 3-pointers in game 1 to win that game, and I don't think that's going to be an ongoing thing that's going to be happening every single game. So that's also why I think that the Wizards have a really good chance of winning this one. Another thing is that, to be completely honest, I understand that Isaiah Thomas is one of the best scoring point guards in the NBA today, and he is an offensive machine, but I genuinely think that John Wall has a better chance of stopping him than Isaiah Thomas has of stopping John Wall. So Avery Bradley is also a good defender, but he is also way too small to stop Avery Bradley. So even though the Celtics have a better team than the Wizards overall, I think that the size mismatches at the guard positions against two very deadly guards, John Wall and Bradley Beal, that's going to make it extremely difficult for the Celtics to win this series, despite the fact that they have a better team. So I'm going to have to give this one to the Washington Wizards. Alright, so the last matchup. Moving on to the Raptors and the Cavaliers. Now I'm going to start this off by saying I'm very sorry to all the Raptors fans, and I know that I've been really tough on you guys these past couple playoffs, and you guys have been giving me a lot of crap for that, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I'm totally cool with that. So I just wanted to say that. But I just want to let you know that I don't think that the Raptors even have the slightest chance of beating the Cavaliers. Now, Kyrie Irving is miles ahead of Kyle Lowry at the point guard position. And DeRozan may be a good scorer, but he struggles too much with his jump shot, and he's so inconsistent. So, with that being said, you know, LeBron James is also virtually unstoppable, and there's nobody on the Raptors that would be able to slow him down at all. Now, the Raptors have a pretty good team overall, but the Cavaliers just have way too many superstar players and such a deep bench as well. So, with that being said, I'm going to have to keep this one short and say that the Cavaliers are going to take this series without a doubt. Alright, so that's that, guys. Anyways, that's it for the NBA playoffs round 2 predictions. Thank you guys all so much for watching this far. Hope you guys continue to enjoy the playoffs like I am. Don't forget to like, dislike, comment, subscribe, and remember, guys, don't forget to comment because I will be interacting with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everything, guys. Peace. See you in round 3.